All right, there we go.
Nice. Well, this is a sparsely attended meeting of the Node tooling group going into Labor Day weekend, which might be one of the reasons. Just looking in our chat, I don't see any additional folks in here. I thought it used to show multiple tabs. What am I? Oh, it doesn't matter. Shall we jump into the agenda?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to just go find it now.
Do you mind putting the link in the chat when you find it?
Yeah, for sure. Right here. Link in chat. Get the chat open. There we are. Okay. So first agenda item, alerting users. I feel like we've talked about this quite a bit. I don't know if there's much new to say about it.
Yeah, I was gonna work on like a prototype there, which I have not gotten around to yet.
We do have some updates for recursive copy. It has landed. Let me share a link.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a few weeks ago, I think, right?
It was, yeah. I think I talked about it. Was I about to land it at the last meeting and then
Yeah, and
landed
then
it
we
right afterwards? I
we
think.
missed the last meeting, so I think that's why.
Ah, yes. So it has landed. I haven't seen any bugs open for it yet, but usually you get more bugs once it's in the latest stable version of Node. I guess I think it's been released in a Node version though. Maybe we just are perfect this time.
There have been a few releases lately for security reasons, so I'm pretty sure that would have gone out.
Yeah, I'll just put a link to the docs for it, I guess. Here we are. There it is in the docs.
Yeah,
So there's a blocker. There's a blocker that came up for getting it to stable that I've been working on gradually elsewhere. So one of the issues was that all of the file system operators in Node.js currently accept a buffer or a string for their operation. And the reason for this is some edge case file systems in, I believe, Linux or Unix, don't encode properly as just a UTF-8 string. But if you keep it as a buffer the whole time that you're performing the operation, it does the right thing. It has something to do with, someone was saying it had to do with UTF-8 string encodings, but that's weird to me because I think Node.js's strings work fine for UTF-8 encoding. So I'm not sure of the exact edge case. James Snell said it had to do with like some edge case Japanese character set actually, but said it had come up for UTF-8 at some point. So we've shipped copy without support for buffer because there was no good way to. It does a bunch of path operations to do the copy, like joins paths, resolves paths, slices paths, while it's copying the entire directory structure from point A to point B. And Node.js doesn't have a built-in API for performing path operations on a buffer. So
what would be in the buffer in this case? Would it be like the source or destination directory?
yeah, so it would be the source and the destination. You'd have to keep it a buffer the whole time. And then the buffer would potentially have like Unicode's, like say 16 characters in it as an example. So maybe the buffer is UTF-16 and it never gets turned into a string. And then you just pass this buffer around to all the file operations. Easier said than done because there's no API for doing that with the buffer. So I have been building that in a separate repo because I didn't want to have to compile Node.js every time that I knew it would be a giant API to write, and I didn't want to keep compiling Node.js to test it end to end. So I have it about 80% done.
Cool, that's great. So recursive copy is experimental right now?
It's experimental, right? Yeah. Okay. Yes. But it's my hope by getting this thing built, I can then use it as a case to it kind of checks off that one thing James Snell said what he would require to be able to call it not experimental.
Right.
But it's a giant pain in the neck because I've been having to like basically, I've just ported the path API, but been gradually making it work on a buffer instead of work on a string. And then I had to learn a bit about character encodings, which I didn't know a ton about. So I tried to make it like, it's actually kind of smart, and it will detect Unicode 16, little endian or big endian. And then the helpers will skip 2 characters instead of 1 character if it's detected it's Unicode 16. UTF-8 is the exact same as ASCII if it's a slash. So you don't have to do like the same stuff for Unicode for UTF-8. I guess UTF-8 could still have control points that would be an issue though, where you do need to skip some number of characters. Yeah, I might have to come back and think about that. Yeah.
Can that be covered by the existing? Because I mean, UTF-8 you can convert to a string. Maybe not.
I was told that we should try to leave it in a buffer the whole time. So.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I should probably add some unit tests for UTF-8 strings with multi-byte characters in them, because I think we have to be like clever when we're traversing that string. I guess UTF-16 is actually easier in a way because UTF-16 every character is always 2 characters in UTF-16.
Right.
The UTF-8 is a single character if it's in the ASCII range up to, I think, 3 characters, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
Yeah. So
that doesn't sound like a lot of fun to implement, but
I've wrapped it in a class. So I mean, we could even probably just like have it not be perfect out of the gate, and then when someone actually points us towards a file system that it doesn't work well on, then we fix the bug for it, and we at least
having some good like test cases for that would be very helpful.
Do you know what? I don't think UTF-8. I don't think it matters for UTF-8 because we're going to find the right character position of the slash. Because it all comes down to breaking it on slide. We're going to find the right offset in the string for the slash character. Right. So even if there were some multi-byte control codes before or after it, because the forward or backslash character is going to be a single character.
Right.
So you're not going to like break the string encoding by breaking on it.
Sounds plausible. I'm also not an expert.
I think that Unicode, I'm probably wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that you start a control. I think you start a UTF-8 control code. It has like a set character. I forget what the control code is. And I think they have to be above the 127. So like you can't have a collision on ASCII and on the UTF-8 character. I shouldn't talk. I don't know this topic too well, so I won't go too deep on it.
Yeah, neither,
but TLDR, we need to be able to handle the buffer to get that work over the finish line. But
all right. I mean,
the only thing I don't like is it adds like 1,000 lines of code to the code base.
Right. But that does seem like potentially a useful thing in general.
Yeah, like we do have this. So I think our implementation for RimRaf is actually potentially broken because it does a really naive path operations inside of it. Our implementation of rimraf wouldn't work in UTF-16 buffers, basically, even though it does work on buffers.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, that potentially seems like a useful thing in general to have in Node.
Yeah, and I also think there's a join helper somewhere in Node that works on buffers, but I'm not sure where it's actually used in the code base. But we can actually delete that because the other implementation's only a partial implementation as well. It would only work, say, if it assumes a UTF-8 buffer, basically.
Right.
Anyways, I'm sure lots of people have opinions if we start trying to land this.
It's cool that you've made some good progress on it, though.
Source map v3. Should we just look if there's any more new bugs open for it?
Sure.
Try to keep a little bit of an eye open.
I forget, why did we decide to leave that on the agenda? I think there was a reason.
We could probably get rid of it if we just want to. I mean, it's an open question. Do we want to leave our old feature work open and just try to triage bugs for it each meeting? I feel like that could be worthwhile.
Potentially, yeah. I wonder if there's a better way to do that other than just leaving it kind of permanently on the agenda, but I'm not opposed to having it on there.
Yeah. I'll leave it on there for now, and then we can talk about this in our next meeting.
Yeah, I thought there was some reason, I can't remember what it was though, that we decided to leave it on there.
I don't think there's a good one other than just keeping an eye on old bugs.
Okay.
There's a few bugs, but nothing new. And they're mostly like requests for work, like getting it to work better in the REPL.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, nothing new there.
Okay.
Argument parsing.
Yeah, it sounded like, so in Slack, Joe mentioned he hadn't had a chance to do any work there, and neither have I. Been focused on create React app lately.
We need to perhaps rope someone else in.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Maybe see how Joe is feeling once I know how exciting it is to switch into doing management. So
yeah, maybe he did say, he may have more time in the near future.
Once he's onboarded some people. Yeah. Google's in the middle of our perf cycle, so I'll start to have more resources again in a week or two.
Okay.
New business. There's a little bit of new business.
Oh, okay.
There's this kind of interesting bug open on Node.js right now for rimraf.
Just looking at this now.
I'm curious to know if it happens for, like, I feel like maybe the answer is if you're deleting tens of thousands of files, maybe you don't use the synchronous version of it.
This must not be leaving the file handle open in every case, because that would pretty quickly exhaust, I think, your number of open files, right?
I would think so. Like most systems default to 1024 or something.
Yeah, exactly. So it must be.
I don't know what OSX is.
Yeah, interesting. There's probably just some code branch somewhere where we're not releasing it properly.
Yeah, my default OSX is 2,560 files. So I feel like we would be hearing about this bug a lot more often if it was doing it in the general case.
Oh, he posted some additional information. Says they're trying to do it inside of a copy function callback.
Oh, that's child process.
Oh,
So they're doing like a
yeah.
synchronous, they're doing like a asynchronous child process, unzipping the files, and then trying to remove all the unzipped files afterwards, synchronously.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I
I'd be
wonder.
tempted to, I'd be curious at least. What if they made that an async callback and then awaited RM? I maybe.
Yeah, maybe the like process is exiting before it can free everything up.
Well, I think the process would be happening. The process is just running unzip,
Hmm.
so it's not. It would. I doubt it would be holding any file handles, or it shouldn't be.
No, but I mean, like, so it. I think once. Oh yeah, I guess that's right. The sub process would run unzip and then finish, and then call a callback, which would do the RM.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Anyways, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna subscribe to this issue. Yeah, it is interesting. It has to be like some kind of edge case and not happening all the time, because otherwise, yeah, this would have come up like very quickly, I would imagine.
I'm just going to ask them to do the promises version out of curiosity.
Right. Oh yeah, wait. This. Oh yeah, never mind. I'm misreading this here. Are they even? They're not actually using the recursive version of this though. But it's
Oh, good point.
still the RM command. Does the non-recursive version just call through to FS? Like what is it, unlink or something? I don't think it does. I think we use the like rimraf logic always.
Why would it be even doing the deleted then, though? It should only be deleting. Oh, it's just deleting the. Yeah, in this case, it would just be deleting the zip file, right?
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
but
actually a
he is just
recursive.
trying. He is trying to delete a single file, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a recursive deletion, but I'm pretty sure even in the case of like deleting a single file, we just still use the logic in rimraf. We don't just call straight
Gotcha.
through to unlink.
For some reason, I thought it had to do with deleting a large number of files, but it doesn't seem like it does have to do with it. It's like literally single files that are having an open file handle, eh?
Right. I wonder if that's the issue. Like it's if you just delete a single file with it without it even being in this callback, and maybe that's a problem. Because that's not really the normal use case for this.
Yeah, I guess we should try to reproduce it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is an interesting one though. Yeah,
Wonder what he's using to come up with these names for these zip files, because it could be like if there was a collision on file name.
right. But if you look at I don't know if the name in the LSOF output is the actual file name, but they're just like huge random
Like
strings.
Shaw's. Yeah, exactly. All right, not much to do here. We don't have to debug it on the call.
Yeah. Anyways, interesting. I'll see if I
There's
have
something
a
to have
chance
on
to delete
our
that.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's everything on my mind.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got as well.
All right, I might go back to trying to collect some metrics for my team then. Trying to get a dashboard built.
All right.
But good talking to you.
Yeah, you too. I will talk to you later.